The Secret Society of the Super Best Friends.
Where's the rocket theme going?
Hello, hi. My name is Andre, and kind of the idea I'm kind of pitching to you is the Secret Society of Super Best Friends Forever. That's my cape. Fantastic. Since you've heard the name, you're now a member. And so level 1 is hero. So you're all heroes. And all that you do and all that you take on, it's massive. The way that this, I like to call it a shadow world, this world of separation, we put a lot of weight on each other. So just even being who you are, and I know a lot of you, even for being here, is kind of letting me know that you probably do lots of good stuff in your communities and in your lives. And so you're doing already what you're supposed to do as heroes. Part of what the Secret Society to do then is to help connect you to other people, to help you find your passions, and to help just in that journey from our heads to our hearts. It's kind of the big journey we're on. And so the Secret Society is, well, I guess the biggest thing that you have to do as a member is be you. It's both the hardest, courageous thing that you could do. But we also recognize that you can't be you without support. The best you cannot exist without that support that community brings. The best you cannot exist without you being able to support other people within that matrix, that community that makes us better than we could have ever imagined. So what a lot of us are into is figuring out our potential. And you can't imagine your full potential because our real potential exists as we come together. The second level is superheroes. And superheroes start to take those ideas and those passions and start to manifest them. Leaf ninjas, Evolver. Basically it's modeled on exactly what we already are doing. A lot of us have gone through kind of an awakening process, and this is a way in which we can help others to find who they are and to find peace in their life. Now the third level is really kind of how the society, or the idea for the society kind of is hinged on, and that's Jedi. Jedi Council, something like that. And at that level, we're going to do something crazy and blasphemous, and we're going to share money. That's right. And part of the thing of the society is to make movements to establish a cradle-to-grave society, because that is the way in which humanity has functioned for eons. In our villages, in our communities, we've always really worked best when we work together, and we've always worked to make sure everyone was taken care of. It's only pretty recently where all of a sudden you're 18 and you're on your own. You know, it's conceptually very strange. You don't throw someone out in the woods. But yeah, you're on your own. You got 2 hands, 2 legs, you can do it. But that's kind of the mentality that we've been brought up in. But it's part of a shadow. It's part of a big lie. So we're working to take down those walls that separate us, to realize who it is that we are. So before I get into how we share money, the economy, the alternative economic system that it is based on part-time. Or even just as a thought, part-time for everyone. In this shadow world, we work way too hard. What happened is when we started to commodify all our things, only the stuff that you did that brought money got value.
Yeah.
Okay? But time with your family, time with your friends, time with community, time with yourself are extremely valuable. Like, super valuable. So part-time is conceptually very important to make us realize to take time to enjoy life, to live through life. A lot of us have actually ventured into that part-time world and stepped away from that crazy 9 to 5, 40, 50, 60-hour week of that shadow world. But we've realized on our own, part-time is still really difficult. It's really difficult to make all those ends meet. There's reasons why we work so much, is to be able to survive. But we got to move from survival to thrival. And it's something we can do together. And so, where was that? Thriving, surviving, working hard. So part-time is an idea also just to slow down. And what you'll find happens, I have a lot of friends, and it becomes a comment in this shadow world life of, oh, I blink and life has gone by. When you slow down, life slows down with you. And you get to experience it fully. And you get to develop faith, respect, and trust. And that's kind of how, the kind of basis little bit of how we're going to share money. So the very basic idea is working part-time, and 50%, half your money is going to go to the community. But in a beautiful way. Half of that, so a quarter of it, gets split between everybody in the community. So if there's someone making a bit of money, it helps buffer those who aren't making so much. And so that you aren't just your job. Imagine a big circle. And then you get the lines and cross it. I should have a thing. But I know you got good imagination, so. Oh yeah, here we go, perfect. There we go. We got our circle. And we got love, faith, respect, and trust. Now when you give your 50%, you're practicing faith. You're like, faith in oh yeah, by the way, these things are not objects. You can't trade them, you can't barter or earn them. These are actions. And the better way to develop those things is just to practice them. So right away we get to practice faith, and then the part that gets split between everybody is how we practice respect and support. We respect you. And that support. Oh yeah, still need it. You're just going to stand here for a while. And then the trust. Oh yeah, so sorry, I forgot to mention about money. The funny thing about money, there's a saying that goes, when you point to the moon and someone goes, hey, there's the moon, don't mistake the hand for the moon. And that's something we've done for money. Hey, there's our safety and our security. Hey, it's our way to make dreams come to happen. But all that stuff really belongs in each other. And so we're in a process of trying to reclaim that. And we're going to use money to do it. It's important that we approach it to use money because it is the thing that has separated us. The way we're taught to use it, it isolates us. It makes us feel horrible when we don't have it. It makes us feel weird when we do have it. We feel bad about how you spend it, and all sorts of things come into play. But it's a tool. So we're just going to flip how we use it. And by sharing it, we take down a lot of those walls. And so what we're going to do is, instead of having money separate us and isolate us and divide us and put us into competition, and it's also based on this idea that scarcity model. And it's really well described by Charles Eisenstein. Here we're in a debt model. Part of also the society is toward a non-debt system. And I'll show you how that works too. But what happens is you have your bank, and it gives your money, and then there's interest. And there's always going to be more money that needs to be paid back. So it creates this idea of scarcity. So what this is a non-debt system. And what we're doing is we're using money to connect us and support us with the respect. And here we're going to practice trust. So the last quarter we're actually going to come around to talk about how to spend it. A lot of what's happened as we're growing, a lot of this model that I'm presenting is already what we're doing. Just kind of giving it a name. You'll notice as you go through, there's more circles. And we're learning to talk. And the beautiful thing about circles I do learning through the arts. And when we teach in circles, it's beautiful because everyone can see each other. And everyone can hear each other. And no one is above or below or anything. And in all our practices, everyone gets a chance to speak and practice speaking and empower. Only 5 minutes left. Oh wow, I cruised that. Okay. So love is, again, just the action that we're doing. And it's an expression, an economic expression of our hearts. Right now we live in an economic expression of our fears. And we suffer from a huge case of crabs in a bucket. So if no one knows, crabs in a bucket is you got a bucket and it's got a bunch of crabs, and they don't worry about putting a lid on it, because if one crab tries to get out, the rest of the crabs will pull it back down. And at first this seems like an analogy for people bringing you down. But really it's an expression of a sacred covenant that no one is free until we're all free. And so that's why it's important to use money differently. because of the emotional, all the things that we put into it, that single act helps in that healing. We have to heal around this issue. Oh, there's more to it. I'm running out of time. But how that also works when we, around circles and how we come together. Because they'll think, oh, you come together and you're going to talk about money and it's going to be lots of fights. But right now already it's a non-debt system. So money comes in and it's just about movement. So as soon as you have like 13 people, there's always money coming in. And there's always money moving around. And what we do is we have 4 ways in which to understand wholeness and how to spend the money and how to talk about the money. Here's research and development, which is business and education. I jumped this one because as we're coming together in our passions, really you're investing in an amazing community of super talented, super passionate people. This idea that if you have the money, people won't work or anything, that's ridiculous. Because we're already working beyond things. We're working just because it's out of our hearts. Right. And so out of this pooled money, we can help support that. We can invest in ourselves. Right now in Calgary, the arts and the music is really blossoming. And that can help us to help wake people up, but also a good movie can help really support a whole community and help us do the things in permaculture and help us do the different things in earthships and all sorts of stuff that our hearts are calling to. The best part is, as we help other people in this journey, help them become heroes and connect to their people and help them find their passions, they'll be starting to look to these ideas too. And we'll be the experts in it. We'll really help to guide that vision. And it's happening in Calgary because this land is awesome. This land is really powerful and it has called us here. A lot of our hearts are just unbelievable. And what we can manifest individually, even in little groups, are incredible. What we can manifest as a community is out of this world. Yeah. There's a lot more to it. That's just a little seed. Really quickly, the other parts are emotional. There's money just to go do crazy things. And people are like, oh, what if I need this or this? Together as a community, all our stuff can be fulfilled. Hey, you need to go visit a friend over in Newfoundland or whatever, go ahead. Here's some money, go. Take it and go. And even in that process of not having to pay it back, there's an emotional thing that happens. Right? And that's what it's really about. This is a stepping stone to where we're not using money. But we're just using money to highlight it. We're using that power that it has. Right now, we live in this shadow world because as you gain power in it, you have a lack of trust. The less people you can trust. But because of the power that they can overlay this non-trusting universe upon us. And so when we come together to talk about the thing, the one we're practicing is that trust. And we're building on it. And that will see us through. So there were a lot of worries about these kinds of ideas, but man, the heart of this community and the people in it, the imaginations and the passions, and how we all have journeyed here listening to our hearts is what will really make this thing, I don't know, beyond anything I can even explain to you. You can only just see. Thank you.